What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. Helena Taylor put out a bombshell of a tweet that in only a couple of hours already has amassed over 2.2 million views on Twitter. And it's insanity. I saw it almost immediately when it came up and it did a little bit of digging to get some research together for this video, and just how insane what she says actually is against Platinum Games, why I am fully in her corner, and just the fallout from this bombshell that she dropped. JT. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and bell for notifications. And without further ado, as this has already seen 2.2 million views, we're going to go through these series of tweets from Helena from the perspective of me, an accredited voice actor in the video game industry. Now, obviously, I'm not nearly on par with her popularity and fame, but it resonates with me, and from someone who's actually done the voice acting in a game, for me it was Meteor Mess, out now on Windows PCs. Check it out, it's free. I can definitely understand and relate to the challenges that you face as a voice actor, the struggles, the stress, the frustrations, and more than anything, something that I never even considered when voice acting for a video game, is just how much freaking time it takes to do it. Like, I don't think people playing video games realize how much is spoken in games these days, and every single line needs to get perfected. And this is coming from someone who is an experienced pro in the industry. So, without further ado, let's hear out Helena and what she has to say about Bayonetta 3.
Hello, my name's Helena Taylor, and I am the voice of Bayonetta, and I would like to explain to you why I didn't voice Bayonetta 3.
Her voice, I don't want to go so far as to say it's iconic, but in the video game industry is extremely recognizable. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I could not imagine someone else having Bayonetta's voice. Like, it is perfect for that character.
Bayonetta franchise made an approximated $450 million,
which is why Nintendo picked up with Platinum Games for the third one.
As an actor, I trained for a total of 7.5 years. 3 years at the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, LAMDA, with voice coach Barbara Barkery, and 4.5 years with the legendary Larry Moss.
Yeah, and like all the time and effort just in training.
What did they think this was worth? What did they offer to pay me?
For those of you who haven't seen this yet, I was expecting, like, I don't know, something ridiculously low, like 20 grand, 15 grand, something insanely ludicrously low. And what did they offer to pay her?
The final offer to do the whole game as a buyout, a flat rate, was $4,000 US.
Wow. Like, I don't mean to laugh because, like, I don't want that to be misconstrued at laughing at her. I'm laughing at how pathetically funny that offer is. Like, in the modern day, inflation-ridden society that we're living in, a professional voice actor for a AAA big release coming out for Nintendo, for the main character of not just that game, but for the series, was offered $4,000 for everything. That is unfathomable. Like, unreal. Unbelievable.
This is an insult to me. The amount of time.
It's an insult to voice actors everywhere.
On my talent and everything that I have given to this game and to the fans. I am asking the fans to boycott this game and instead spend the money that you would have spent on this game donating it to charity.
Wow. Wow. A lot to unpack there, too. The voice actor for Bayonetta 1 and 2 is reaching out to the fans of the series, telling them to boycott Bayonetta 3 because she was offered a ridiculously low amount of money for her services, which she in turn turned down. I guess what I could say from that is, yeah, I have zero interest in buying or even playing Bayonetta 3 right now, which is really unfortunate, personally, and I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there that can resonate with this. It's a game that I was genuinely looking forward to. Bayonetta 2 especially was fantastic, mind-blowing on the Wii U. And I got that double pack when it first came out, so it came with the original Bayonetta, which at that point I hadn't even played yet, so I was getting into the series. I was like, dang, I missed out on a hell of a really cool series. This is good stuff. The unfortunate side of this is calling for a boycott doesn't just hurt the publisher, it doesn't just hurt Platinum Games, it doesn't just hurt Nintendo, it hurts like all the developers, the QA testers, the marketing, and everyone else working on the game too that had nothing to do with this horrendous decision that came from the top at Platinum Games. Or at least that's what she gets into later on with this. And that is the challenging part with this kind of boycott. And those of you who have been following video game boycotts in the past would know that video game boycotts don't ever work. If anything, the opposite effect happens. It's infamy, and everyone wants to see it now because, like, why are we boycotting this? I want to see what it's about. And then it doesn't do anything to the sales much. Like, if anything, you can't tell a difference from it historically. Although, typically, when boycotts are called for in the past for video games, it's not for such a bombshell of a reason like this one is being called for here. I guess what I'm saying is it just affects more than just this voice actor. It affects everyone who works on the game. And that's why it sucks.
I didn't want the world. Didn't ask for too much. I was just asking for a decent, dignified living wage.
What a slap in the face.
What they did was legal, but it was immoral.
What they did was legal, but it was immoral. I could not have said it better myself. That they are fully within their right to offer a voice actor a pathetically low rate or wage, or if anything. And that's fine. And she's within her rights to turn it down. That's, capitalism 101. The problem comes in when they're just replacing a voice actor with someone else after making insane amounts of money with the game. Now, if this was like an indie game that barely sold anything and doing it for fun and trying to get her name out there, okay, that's a little bit different. This is a major franchise on a AAA scale that's sold and made millions and millions of dollars. And they offered her $4,000 US. But it goes on. Part 2.
Now, those of you who follow me on Twitter know that I'm more of a lover than a fighter, and sometimes think I'm not very much like Bayonetta at all, but I guess I am a little bit more like Bayonetta than I thought. I understand that boycotting this game is a personal choice, and there are those that won't, and that's fine. But
this is perfect.
Who cares about people, who cares about the world around you, who cares about who gets hurt with these financial decisions.
I think the first time I watched this, I was like, oh, she's being a little bit over dramatic with it. But then I watched it again, and I'm like, no, this is messed up. She's completely on point with how she feels and her reaction to this.
Then I urge you to boycott this.
Calling for a boycott. That is insane, by the way. like a prominent figure in the series voice acting for the other two, calling the fan base to boycott the game that's been in the works for years. Like, we're talking 5 years in development for this game, and it's just about to release. And she's calling for a boycott. It releases in like a week and a half, 2 weeks. That's mind-blowing, like the bombshell that this is.
Decided to do it to stand up in solidarity with people all over the world who do not get paid properly for their talents. Fat cats cream off the top and leave us the rotten crumbs. You know, in England right now, there are nurses going to food banks to feed their children. This is not right. This is not acceptable. It impacts mental health. Because of it, I suffered from depression and anxiety. I worried that I was going to be on the streets. That terrified me so much that once I was suicidal.
Jeez.
I am not afraid of the non-disclosure agreement. I can't even afford to run a car. What are they going to do? Take my clothes? Good luck to them.
That
Bayonetta.
you don't mess you don't mess with someone like this. They got nothing to lose, and that's the kind of person that could just tear the whole thing down. Oh, wow. Cocky executives get a little too cocky. Reality hits.
Always stands up for those with less power and stands up for what is right. And in doing this, you stand with her. Thank you.
Powerful stuff. Like, holy crap. The drama behind the scenes of video games 101. And for those of you who aren't familiar with me, I've been in the game industry for a long time, in and out of it. QA testing, dev work, actual recruiting for all the companies on the West Coast, or a bunch of them at least, temp recruiting. And now voice acting in the Maniac Mansion remake, my YouTube channel. Like, I live, eat, breathe, sleep this stuff. I love it. But the back end, behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see, when it comes to the forefront like this, it's not only alarming, but it's a harsh reality check for everyone. And makes you think about, okay, these games just don't magically appear. Like, there's a lot of work that goes into every single one of them. And if people aren't going to be paid, reciprocated for their efforts, then they need to start speaking up and nonviolent protest, and nothing more powerful than this. This is like, first off, I would imagine she's going to get a lot of offers from other companies moving forward, because she's got a fantastic voice. And now the popularity behind her, championed by the fans of not just the series, but just people of gaming in general that want to support her. Hopefully, she's able to land on her feet. And hopefully, Platinum Games and Nintendo don't come after her, because, like she says, what are they going to take from her? But she continues. There's a third part to this as well.
Interested, I'd like to go. For those of you who are interested, I'd like to go into a little more detail about the back and forth. The first thing was I was required to audition again, because sometimes voices change with time. So I auditioned for the role and obviously passed with flying colours.
So she auditioned again for the role and passed. My question that she doesn't bring up here is, what was she compensated for Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2? And did she have any residuals from the sales, or any percents of that, or anything like that? I'd imagine not very much, and no, because if she was fearful for living on the streets and going to be homeless and suicidal thoughts and all that kind of stuff, then I'd imagine she was not in a good place financially. So after doing all that work on the first two games, we get to the third game, and they ask her to audition again. I'm wondering, one, what her expectations of pay were for it, which she said she wants to be paid a fair, commensurate amount with what she does for her efforts, which is great, but that also can vary from person to person. So I'd be interested to see what ballpark she was in. If she was looking for 15,000 to 20,000, if she was looking for 50,000 plus residual sales, like where was she on what she wanted from this? I think that would have been a good starting point for them to discuss back and forth. And it sounds like Platinum Games didn't even care what she was looking for. They were just like, go pound some sand, which is impressive for someone who was so powerful with the voice of the main character of the series.
They then sent me an insulting offer. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to write to Hideki Kamiya. I'm going to write to him and ask him for what I'm worth. So I got a friend.
Hideki Kamiya, by the way, for those of you who don't know, he's infamous on Twitter for blocking people as soon as they mention anything or tag him or tweet to him in English, I believe. He just blocks you. It's like a meme on Twitter with that guy. And everyone just laughs. Everyone's blocked by him. I'm not, because I've never interacted with him. I think that's so childish and stupid. I'm just like, whatever. I just ignore the guy. But that's how he's known in the Twitterverse. And this is the person that she's reaching out to say, hey, what do you think I'm worth for this game?
A friend who has been in business in Japan to write in Japanese to him. I know he read it because I got a reply. I got a reply saying that he values greatly my contribution to the game and that the fans really want me to voice it over. And the memory of first meeting me as Bayonetta is a memory I hold dear. So I thought, great, thank God. That was when they offered me $4,000.
What a piece of shit. What a piece of shit. I don't know what else to say. Like, that just reminds me, and I'm sure most can relate, we've all had the horrible boss that pays you like literally as little as possible and expects the most out of you and never wants to give you a raise, never wants to do anything with you. Like, that's how it feels like she was treated here. Like the guy's just an asshole, a complete dick, a douchebag, a cocky person that thinks that he's holier than thou and there's nothing you can do to knock him down. This trifecta of videos published on Twitter by Helena Taylor instantly destroyed this guy's career. Instantly. He went from being a funny meme that everyone laughed and joked about to being the most hated person on Twitter today. And most likely moving forward for a long time. At least in the realm of video gaming.
Do you know, Platinum had the cheek to say that I was busy, that they couldn't make it work with Miss Taylor's schedule. Well, I had nothing but time.
I don't know what she's referring to with they couldn't make it work with her schedule. Like a meeting? I don't know what she's talking about there. I've heard that a few different times now. It's like, okay, Platinum stepped in and said Miss Taylor does not have time, so they spoke for her to him. It's weird, but regardless, he got the message and received it and replied to her. So he had an opportunity and dropped the ball.
They now have a new girl voicing her over. And I love actors. I wish her all the joy in the world. I wish her all the jobs. But she has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta. I created that voice. She has no right to sign merchandise as Bayonetta.
Yeah, you wonder about the legal ramifications with that. Like, obviously, I would say that Platinum Games holds the rights to Bayonetta, but if one of the voice actors has a voice and then you have someone else coming in to replace them, copying or imitating their voice as best they can, like, you wonder throughout history with Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse and all that stuff, how they've been replaced by newer voice actors after the old ones passed away, like where the rights fall with that. it's a very interesting, furthest thing from a lawyer, but very interesting legal ramifications that she brings up here.
Any more than I have the right to sign as Eva Green, even though I was her parrot on the video game The Golden Compass. That betrayal is hers and hers alone.
This runs deep.
They'll probably try and do a spin-off with Jan. Don't buy that either.
Wow. So, major bomb dropped by Helena Taylor today, and the fallout is currently ensuing right now. Here is an article from Nintendo Life pointing out that social media has spotted what appears to be Kamiya's response in English. This was today, sad and deplorable about the attitude of untruth. That's what all I can tell now. By the way, beware of my rules. What a complete dick. What a complete dick. Like, it sounds to me like this guy has hardcore mental, psychological issues where he's so completely full of himself that he thinks he's in the right here, offering her $4,000 to do the job. Oh, God. Let's see the fantastic replies on Hideki Kamiya's Twitter timeline for this. So he's getting roasted by everyone. Everyone. He's just going on a block spree right now, blocking everyone, which is what he does. Like I said earlier, that's his meme. He always just blocks people. It sounds like everyone just thought it was kind of cheeky and funny, like, oh, I got blocked by him, ha ha ha. I think what we all realized today is that it wasn't like a joke or a meme. He really is just a dick. Just a complete douchebag, cocky asshole that thinks he's better than everyone. And reality is striking really hard on Hideki today. So it remains to be seen what Nintendo and Platinum Games do to potentially resolve this PR absolute nightmare. Like this, it doesn't get worse than this if you're a game company. A week and a half before the launch of a major AAA title, the main voice actor star of the game is calling for everybody to boycott it. And I'll be honest, like I said earlier, boycotts don't typically work in gaming. I have zero desire or inclination to play Bayonetta 3 right now. And I have so many other games to play. Maybe I'll play it when it goes on sale for $10, like 2 years from now. I literally don't care. There's so many other things to do instead. And I really appreciate that she called not just for the boycott, but told people to donate that money to a good cause instead. I think that could be noteworthy for people to start making some public statements and some posts on social media saying instead of buying Bayonetta 3, I put my 60 or 70 or whatever they were going to charge for it, dollars plus tax, to the Wildlife Foundation or, whatever rights or whatever foundations people believe in. I think that can be a pretty powerful thing. So, yeah, that's my take on this absolutely ludicrous bombshell of a situation. And I am fascinated to see where it goes from here. I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you guys think about this down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, you stay smashing.
I can't open it. I'm useless. Dave's dad was right. No, I can pull myself. That's me.
Try to take it.
All that ticking and talking must get maddening fast.